Today I'm going to be sharing 5 features that are still missing from iOS 14 and iPadOS 14 that people have been requesting for years now and that Apple still refuses to give to us. So, let's get to it. What is up, everybody? My name is Adam Bradley, and Apple recently announced a ton of new features coming to the iPhone, iPad, Mac, and Apple Watch. And you can check out my top 10 new features video by clicking the icon right there or right there, and it'll also be in the description down below. Now let's get on to the very first feature that Apple still refuses to give to us. In iPadOS 14, we still do not have full display support for the iPad. The iPads have been able to connect to an external display via the Lightning port with an adapter or with the USB-C port on the iPad Pros, but as soon as you plug it up, you immediately see 2 issues. The first thing is that it is a mirrored display and not an extended display. So this means it is going to mirror whatever your iPad is showing you on your iPad. Is going to show you exactly that on the external display. The second thing is that it is not full screen, which means that you have these huge, ugly black bars on the sides of your screen. And let's say that you have like a 65-inch curved monitor by Samsung and you really want to use the full screen. Well, if you have an iPad Pro or even an iPad, sorry bud, you're only going to get part of the screen and the rest of it is just going to be these black bars. Full display support is what I feel like is the biggest drawback to using an iPad right now if you want to connect it to an external display. Now, the biggest disappointment that I have with iPadOS 14 is that you still do not have a progress bar whenever you are transferring files in the Files app. So I use LumaFusion to edit these videos, and what I do is I take the SD card from the camera and I connect it to my USB-C adapter. But the problem is that I do not see A, how many files are remaining, and B, how much time is remaining like you can on the Mac. If you plug in like an SD card or whatever to a Mac and you transfer files, it shows you how many files are remaining to transfer, total sizes that you are transferring, and how much estimated time is remaining. Ever since 2007, the iPhone has had a native calculator app, but 12 years later, the iPad is the only Apple device that does not have a calculator app on it. Well, I guess technically the Apple TV does not either, but who really needs to use a Apple TV to do some calculations? Anyways, the iPad is the only device. Even the Apple Watch, which is like yay big, gained calculator support in watchOS 6 last year. Fun fact: the iPad was originally supposed to have a native calculator app on it when it was first released in 2010. However, Steve Jobs did not like the design of the iPad. Basically, it was originally going to be coming out with just the same version of the iPhone calculator app, just blown up on a bigger scale. He went to his design team about a month or so before the iPad was actually about to be released and said, "Hey guys, where is that new design for the new calculator app?" Steve, what do you mean? We haven't designed a new calculator app. What you see is what's going to be shipping in the next month. And Steve Jobs was like,
"No, don't like that."
So Steve tried to get his team to make a brand new calculator app from the ground up. Long story short, they did not have time to, so Steve said, "Pull the app. We're not going to have the app on the iPad." So ever since then, it's not been on the iPad. The rumor has it is that the calculator app for the iPad has been on a very low priority list, and that's one of the reasons why Apple has not gotten around to making it. And also because they want to make the calculator app something really special and something really cool and make it much better than the calculator app on the iPhone. I don't know if this is why there's also not a weather app on the iPad, but the iPad does need a calculator and weather app. And I will leave some great third-party calculator and weather apps down in the description down below. Moving on to the iPad, feature number 4 that Apple still has not brought us is no new Apple Card updates or features. If you use the Apple Card, then you know that it is by far the easiest and most simplest card to use, and the app is super intuitive and super easy to use. I love the Apple Card. It's by far my favorite credit card out there. However, there are still 3 things that I wish Apple would have brought to really just make that experience much better. The first feature is searchable transactions. I really wish you could search transactions based on name, date, amount, and category. There is a section in the Apple Card where if you go and tap on your transactions, it'll show you a whole list of other times you have purchased things from that store, and it has dates and amounts and things like that. And that's nice, but I wish you could just go have like a little search bar and search Target or Walmart, and it'll show you all the transactions you ever bought from Target or Walmart. The second feature is that there still is no multiple card user support. So right now I have my Apple Card and my Discover card, and with my Discover card, my wife can have her own card. So like I have my Discover card and she has her Discover card, and they're all linked to the same account. Whereas right now with the Apple Card, there is only one card, so only one person can use it, and you can only have one card at a time. The third feature that I wish Apple would bring for the Apple Card is a web version or an app for the iPad or Mac. This would make managing and viewing your transactions really easy, and you could also make payments from the iPad app or the Mac app. And the fifth and final feature that is still missing from iOS is that you cannot customize your control center very much. Now you can go to settings, Control Center, and add or remove apps and move apps up and down where they appear on Control Center, but you cannot do any of that within the Control Center itself. So I really wish there was like a drag and drop feature where you can just press and hold on a app icon in Control Center and you could drag it up to move it. I also wish you could take the playback and the device settings such as Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and airplane mode and just like drag them down somewhere else because right now they're only in that one spot and you cannot move them at all. So I really wish Apple would give us just a little bit more control over us moving all the apps and really customizing your control center to the way that users would like it to be. What features are you guys still wishing that Apple would bring to the iPhone and the iPad? Drop me a comment down below. Hit me up on my Twitter, Adam's Tech Life. And if you would like to see the top 10 new features coming to your Apple devices, you can go ahead and click that video right there. Have a great week, guys. I will see you soon. Bye.